So previously we created this shake animation here, and I showed you how to create an actual shake animation XML and add all of the attributes we wanted, and then invoke encode through animation utils and load the animation, and then just use that inside of the view. That's one way of doing that, and you saw that works fine, no problem. Now in this next animation here, which is going to be for our true, or whenever you use it is correct, I'm going to say private void fade view. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is the following. Do the same thing. I'm going to get our card view. I'm going to say card view as such, find view by id, r.id.card view. Okay, and then I'm going to use an animation that will allow us to change the color, but it's going to be subtle and kind of fadey, if you will. That's why we have this fade view name for our function. So at this point here, we need to think about, okay, how do we fade a view? Well, if we do a quick Google search, Android animation classes, it will take us to this animation Android developers. Again, this is where you should literally live, because that's where we have all the documentations for Android APIs and all sort of things. And at first it's going to be daunting, because reading documentation, especially in the beginnings, it can be a little bit complicated, but it really isn't once I show you how to read it. Let's go to Android developers here, and it's going to show us all the classes that are going to help us with animation. It says here, you can see here that it says it is indeed an abstract class animation. So kind of like an interface, right? So meaning that most of the methods in this class are going to be used or implemented at a class level. All right, very good. You can see here that animation actually inherits also from object. So all classes do, right, in Java. But then it says known direct subclasses. So we have alpha animation, animation set, rotation animation, scale animation, translate animation. So those are the main ones that are directly related to our animation class. Now, when I said here that we need an animation that would allow us to fade things in, which of these you think is going to help us? We've used this rotation or rotate animation, but we use it in a different way, in a sense that we're able to create an XML and then invoke it in our code, right? So which one do you think is going to help us with changing the view or the fade in and fade out? Right, alpha animation, because we click alpha animation, that means we can change how things are being perceived or change the opacity of a view. So this would be the animation that we want. And you can see here it says this animation controls the alpha level of an object, useful for fading things in and out. This animation ends up changing the alpha property of a transformation. Very good. So we have a candidate here, okay? There's all sort of things, but let's look at a few other things. So it looks like we have to pass the context and the attribute sets to be read. So in this case, alpha animation, we're going to pass from alpha, so we can say from 0 meaning nothing is being seen on the screen, to say 1. So the opacity goes from 0 to 1. So 0 being is totally not visible, and 1 being opaque, meaning you can actually see the whole thing. Okay, so there's a lot of methods here. We'll change bounds and all sort of things that you can use. All right, but now I'm going to show you how to use this alpha animation constructor here, okay? Because we have to pass the from alpha to alpha. So to show exactly what are we doing, we're going from visible to invisible. That's what we're trying to do here, right? In an animation. So coming back to our code, I can come down here and do the following. I have my card view already. I'm going to say alpha animation. Look at that. There it is. Call this animation, or to be more precise, let's just use what Android Studio gives us. It's equal to new alpha animation, and we have to pass, as the constructor said, what are we doing? So we're starting from something that is visible, so 1f like that, because we need to pass floats, to what's not visible, 0.0.f. Okay, so from something visible to invisible. Okay. Now that we have our alpha animation object, I can say alpha animation dot. I can set the duration in milliseconds. So I want this to be about 350 milliseconds. Okay. Remember, this is milliseconds, not seconds. All right. And then I'm going to say, okay, alpha again, set repeat count. Do I want this to keep repeating? No, I want it to just repeat once. So just one. Accepts an integer, and I'm going to say alpha again dot set repeat mode. I want to say animation dot reverse. So I want it to go back and forth. Okay? So it's going to go kind of blinking, fade in, fade out, fade in, fade out in about 350 milliseconds. Okay, very good. So we set our animation object here. Now we have to pass into the card view because that's the whole point here, right? So we set animation, the class is set up. Now we have to pass that onto the card view. So I'm going to say card view dot set animation. We're going to pass our animation, alpha animation. Very good. Once we have that, we are going to say alpha animation again, set animation listener. I'm going to pass new animation listener. There we go. We have that interface that is invoked here, just like we had before, and we can do certain things that we want to do here. Well, the first thing is we want to make sure that in beginning of this animation, our card view that set card background, I'm going to say color dot green, because I want it to be green because it is a correct answer. At the animation end, I want to put it back to white. All right. We don't need to do anything on animation repeat. That's totally fine. I'm going to save this now. Nothing's going to work because we haven't called it. So we're going to go to where we call the true animation, meaning that the users have picked the correct answer. I'm going to say fade view like that. Let's go and save. Let's go see if we can run this, and we should hopefully see that this actually works. All right, so let's say true. That's false. It is false. And voila. You see that? That again. Look at that. Very cool. True. That's not true. Wonderful. So let's go all the way to somewhere else. Keep going. Let's see. A potato isn't a vegetable. Let's say that's true. Oh, that's false. That should be actually true, right? False is indeed true. Let's go. Keep going. Look, we have over 900 questions, so there's a lot of things. In England, in 1800, pants was considered a dirty word. Is that true? Yep, that is true. I had no idea about that. By the way, I checked all the questions, and there's really nothing that offensive. I hope not. And so kids can watch this video as well. It should be fine. So Larry the Cable Guy has an illegal cable hookup. Oh, maybe this is not for kids. But in any case, let's keep going here. And all these awesome questions are showing. Notice at this point here, we have some sort of size issues here. It's fine. At this point, we can go back to our activity here and perhaps make this a little bit more larger. And while we're here, I want this to be in the middle of the screen. So what I'm going to do, let's go to text. Let's go to our text inside question here. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to say gravity. I want the layout gravity to be center, horizontal like that. Let's see if that's what I want. Perhaps I just want to be center vertical. There we go. So I want to be in the middle of the screen. Okay. Very good. Let's do a little quick run there. So let's keep going all the way. If you were to spell out numbers, you would have to go until 1000 until you would find the letter A. True? That is indeed true. I don't understand this question, but in any case, it works. Notice some of these also have some typos there, or grammar is not the best, but at least you get the idea here, right? So we have our application is indeed working. Let's see this one. Nigerian woman was caught entering the UK with 104 kilos of snails in her baggage. That's true. Wow, what people do. Very good. So you can see, I'm going to say true. Okay, so our application, if I say false, that's wrong. Look at that. Everything is working. We have the correct animations at the correct time, and all is well, folks. So congratulations if you got to this point. I hope you were able to learn a lot. And as you see now, we are progressing in our learning, okay? In the beginning, there was a lot of hand-holding, and that's totally fine. It's nothing negative. But at this point, we're going to go a little bit quicker and faster because I'm assuming you are following along and you are asking the questions if you have them, and you're doing research and you're doing all of the challenges and so forth. So that is very important for you to actually start learning things, all right? Perfect. I'll see you in the next video.